So that is classical liberalism as envisaged by J.S. Mill in On Liberty. That's exactly how the marketplace of ideas should work. It seems to me, the reason I ask that question is when I watch you, and it is one of the few shows that I watch when I'm not on it, which for somebody in our business, being as busy as we are, we don't really watch much in this.
You get burnt out on it.
Right, we don't watch much of other people's.
Well, thanks for putting up with me, because half of it's a train wreck.
No, I mean, it's not a train wreck. There's some stuff that I'm like, but I find it very, it's always entertaining. But the thing that I will say in your favor is you never, to me, come across as insincere. I believe that you mean what you say, and I believe that you mean what you're doing. And that's why I asked about where the energy reserves come from, because my hunch was that it's something a bit like me. You actually really believe this stuff, and you need to.
Exactly. I've got a stack of news we didn't get to today. I probably covered 50 stories or more.
So we spent an hour roasting Newsweek for their Madam President's.
And then I'll be exhausted at 6 or 7. I want to go see my family, but it's like, but there's crazy articles where they're admitting everything, and I want to go. These things get me upset.
It's like the whole world is wrong, and I've got to get through
exactly
all these different things.
I feel disempowered unless I can cover something and talk about it, and then somehow I'm almost like OCD about information. If I can talk about it and give my angle, then I don't have an anxiety. So a lot of it is.
I think a lot of your viewers are like that, and I think a lot of my readers are like that, and I think maybe it's a boy thing. It's something I've noticed about a lot of people who spend a lot of time on the internet, a lot of people who consume a lot of news. They have that
the autistic army, which doesn't mean. It's like you can't stop
there's something a bit Aspie about us, isn't there?
Aspergerish. You've got to
someone somewhere on the internet is wrong, and I have to let them know about it. I have to fix it. I think it's fair. So you mentioned about when you're tired. Talk to me about when you're off camera. Do you have hobbies? Is it something that you do that's not related to work?
I like to go hiking. I like to go boating. I like to go see movies. I like to go out to eat. Obviously, I don't miss a lot of meals. I like to hang out with my friends. I kind of don't drink and then do drink. I like to drink alcohol. I like to basically read different art and literature. I like to look at art. I like to look at architecture. I like the catalogs. Even though I'm not buying a lot of furniture, I like to look at furniture catalogs.
Okay, we get the idea. So you're just like in your home life as you are on set. It's endless and limitless and freewheeling and full.
Yeah, I like botany. I got a bunch of plants.
Plants?
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. It's always heartening to me when I find somebody who's the same off screen as they are on, because there's a sort of authenticity and earnestness about you that I really like, because I know you mean it.
We couldn't misrepresent this train wreck.
Well, I kind of know what you mean, because I sort of feel the same about my college talks. I'm kind of like, I catch myself being like, what are you doing? But I mean it, and people know I mean it,
Even when we're joking, exactly. Like they'll take our interview we did live on air where I'm joking about I want to marry Glenn Beck and all this. It's all just a silly joke. They're going to say Jones, who makes it up that he's married to Beck. No, when I'm being serious about a piece of news about some peace deal, I'm being serious. But when I'm saying I want to marry Glenn Beck, it's a joke.
Yeah, and guess what, guys? That might be a joke. Let me ask. I don't want to intrude too much into your home life because I'm more interested in you as a human being. But just in terms of logistics, because your life must be difficult, given the decisions that you've made, the opinions that you have, the empire you've built around yourself, and it continues to grow. As far as I can see, it's growing at rates of knots. This place is huge and buzzing.
This is just one building. We got some other ones. But yeah, we're building a new studio. Come down and be in the new one.
It's huge, and I just wonder, just like the day-to-day stuff. What happens if you're at home and you want tacos? Who does that? Because you don't strike me as the kind of guy who's got a retinue of personal assistants. But you can't exactly walk down the street and just go to the takeout place, right? So do you have how does it work just being Alex Jones when you're not on screen?
I'd say I've got usually a nanny or an assistant until about 5 o'clock. But I would just go. There's a taco place right by the house, and we get that a lot.
Oh, you do get tacos.
Yeah, and then back during the campaign, half the workers were wearing Bernie Sanders shirts. But then I noticed that a lot of them actually liked Trump too. They were just anti-Jeb Bush, anti-Hillary. And so a few of them, would argue with me, but they weren't really mad until Trump won. And then a few of them kind of got in my face when I was getting tacos. And yeah, for every 100 people that shake my hand, and it's like every third or fourth person will shake my hand, there will be somebody who just goes, F you Russian spy, or F you KKK, and you're just like, it's like that person's mentally ill. It's kind of like they're a victim of propaganda. It's kind of like I'm driving up to a red light and there's a poor schizophrenic person. Most of the homeless people have mental problems. I'm sad for them, and they're like talking to the wind, and
they spot you or something,
and then they turn and go, "You're my father. I hate you." And it's some drooling 80-year-old guy. You're not mad at him. You feel sorry for him. You lock your doors. You drive on past. But it doesn't like morally. The leftists, this happens like maybe every 5 or 6 times I go out to eat now. They'll walk over and go, "Boo! Everyone hates you. F you, Alex." And I'll go, "Thank you." And they'll go, "Oh yeah, knock your drink over."
But everyone doesn't hate you.
Well, no, but exactly. They want to make you think.
Yeah.
It's all with them because everything with them is peer pressure.
Yeah.
And everything is their little bots and their fake liberalism. Yeah. And so they want to tell you you're not cool because most of them weren't cool in school. I've learned most modern liberals
being
were
social
nerds.
Justice warriors. It's well, we all know how what Rush Limbaugh says about why people end up being feminists. It doesn't take a genius to work out why the boys end up being social justice warriors. Why a lot of these people end up with the politics they do, and end up behaving as they do. They're empowered by media, by Hollywood, by academia to be the bullies they never were in school.
Exactly, and. That's the thing, though, is that they think I care about fake peer pressure that doesn't exist. They're trying to echo some cyber
version of popularity that doesn't matter to you.
Exactly. Well, they're trying to echo some cyberspace synthetic popularity that they believe they're part of in the third dimension at me. And I know that the last 100 people just shook my hand. Literally, it's like 100 to 1 to the one person that screams Russian scum, Russian
scum. I get the same thing.
And then I go over to them and I go, come here. And they go, no, F you. And they're all, and I'm like, come on over here.
See, it's so weird because I do the same thing. And I'll be like, wait, let's have a conversation. They're like, no. And I said, well.
I'm like, please, on camera, tell me how I'm a Russian spy or how I'm a KKK.
Explain. And I've had people come up to me, and I've been with boyfriends, and you know my taste in men. And I'm like, and they're calling me a white supremacist, and I'm like, oh, I can't even.
Well, that's the new thing where they just scream racist at everybody, and it's like some magic word they're using. And the problem is, though, all of their racist rhetoric is. I grew up, in middle-class neighborhoods, never really heard any racist stuff. It is producing in some white people kind of a classic racism, which isn't good because it's meant to divide us all like we're in a prison and the government's the warden. And the left is hyping race so bad that if you're not mentally sophisticated, you start getting into it.
I think the whole culture's hyping race. It's not just the government, is it? It's Hollywood too, and so academia. It seems like the whole of establishment culture is dividing people with identity politics. And inevitably, people only know what they learn. They're only brought up how they behave how they're trained to behave. And if you tell young kids, college students, there's a black student union, there's a feminist society on campus, there's this, there's that, and at the same time you tell them, but straight white men are the devil and poison and the oppressors of history, they're going to think, well, first of all, that doesn't jive with my experience, and is that really true about myself, and where's my special group, Whereas I think what I get from you, one of the things that perhaps we have in common, is that you're a classical liberal who believes a lot more in ideas than identity, and you want people to unite around.
Exactly. If somebody's got great food, I don't care if they're gay, straight, black or white or Asian, I'm going to eat there. If their music's good, I'm going to go to their concert. Yeah. I'm into individuals and their brains and the great experience of true diversity versus identity politics that creates these reservoirs that they control, that I'm supposed to only paint with these colors. I'm supposed to only see through these maps. Well, that's mental slavery. That's orthodoxy. I don't want to see the world through a priesthood that tells me how to think. I want to interface with the universe myself.
Yeah, like the cultural appropriation thing, where they say, if you can't wear a kimono if you didn't grow up, being in some way that is never quite specified.
Or they say it's insulting to dress up in a Japanese kimono for a party. No, it's fun. And then you eat Japanese food, or you want Mexican food, and it's fun to wear sombreros and drink tequila. You're not stereotyping Mexicans as drunk tequila drinkers. The point is, you want to get drunk on tequila, and then have fun. I mean, it's.
Let me ask you about Trump. Trump is the reality TV president. He has brought entertainment industry dynamics into the Oval Office. Some people love it, some people hate it. I kind of like it. I don't really hear anybody talk about the Kardashians anymore, but I do hear people say, like, what did Stephen Miller say to Jim Acosta at the briefing today? He's kind of turned the White House into an entertainment spectacle in a way that politics wasn't before. Is there a dimension of that in what you do at InfoWars? Bringing in entertainment, because you're on camera persona very high energy. You have some sort of rhetorical and metaphoric things that you lean on sometimes that we talked about in your show earlier. Some of the language you use is strong, but completely reasonable when taken metaphorically. Is there an element of bringing in that sort of reality, spectacle, entertainment? Are you? I suppose what I'm getting at is how consciously aware are you of the entertainment element of what you do versus here's what you got to hear, America?
I should try to be more entertaining. I get so serious most of the time that
you perceive yourself as being too serious.
Yeah, and then quite frankly, when I am being goofy and stuff, it's because it's gallows humor. I'm naturally that way. I want to do that.
Yeah.
And so if there's anything fake, it's not so much fake. I'm not as serious a person in my daily life in person as I am on air. But this is a serious topic, a whole serious thing. So I tend to get too serious. Whereas you can be serious and joke around. Then with that chemistry, we kind of had fun. It was real.
We kind of amped each other up a little bit.
Exactly.
I think we were enjoying each other's company.
Sure, but I mean, exactly. None of it's fake. It's all a real expression. But yes,
I wasn't suggesting it's fake. I think people wonder sort of how conscious you are of. Let's say, for instance, because you have a big meme ecosystem around you, and you obviously enjoy that. You're aware of it, and you like it, right? The kind of
because I hate taking myself serious.
Right, that's what I think.
It's fun. It's fun to be made fun of.
That's what I think I'm getting at, because people sometimes ask me, is this fake? Is this a put on persona? No, I just don't take myself as seriously as you. That's always my answer to that question. It's the same for you.
Exactly. And look, studying history, before politics was entertainment, the local stump where people stood up and spoke, the main gladiatorial event was being politically involved so that you could be freer.